Another great question has come in, this time from AB Green. And the question is how do you implement systems and make employees use them? This question is for really people who are looking to make their business more remote control, if you will, so that you can work from anywhere or reduce the involvement in the business. So if you've been in a business for 15 to 20 years or even more and you're tired of working 6 days a week, you want to scale it down to 1 or 2 days per week and not lose control or reduce the quality of the business, then systems is what you have to do and implement. Of course, this is something that I've been doing for more than 30 years, so I can definitely speak on this. So there's a few things that you can do. Number one is look at the policies and enforcement mechanisms that you have to make sure that people are doing it. So you first have to start with policies. You have to make sure that they're there so that everyone understands them, knows that they have to use the systems that have been created and developed for them and for the business. And then you have to make sure that the enforcement mechanism, the accountability mechanism is there. A lot of times, businesses don't have strong management, and you would think otherwise, right? But it's not the case. And really, when you don't have strong management, how do you hold people accountable? You really can't. So accountability is a part of making sure that the systems that have been created and developed are going to be implemented and used. So number two is training. Training is the second component that you must put in place so that people understand why the usage of systems is so important, and also the how to use the systems that have been created for them. So training is very important, and it's a component that is not really appreciated in most businesses. If you're a world-class business, you are going to actually put a lot of effort on training your employees and continuously doing so. Most businesses that are world-class understand that training is an investment, whereas businesses that think that it is a cost usually struggle. And so the mentality has to change, and definitely for systems and implementing systems, you have to have training involved as a component of making sure that people are going to use them. Number three is the culture. The culture of the company has to be one of excellence, or at least striving to be of excellence. And if you have that in place and you have a culture of excellence, then it's natural that people are going to want to standardize and make sure that systems are being used. It's when you don't have that component and you don't have that culture that you actually get to struggle. I work with clients all the time in making sure that there is a culture that adopts change and adopts excellence as a normal way of doing things. One final point, if you stuck around this long, and then I'm going to give you one more, which I kind of hinted in the last point, which is change management plan. You should have a change management plan for each drastic change that is going to be happening in a company. And implementing systems, depending on how large the company is, etc., is a drastic change. And people like to always go back to their normal state of doing things, you know? It's the usual mindset for most employees is, listen, it wasn't broken before, why don't we go back to that? Obviously, there's a lot of things with that mindset that is wrong, but a change management plan is going to help you look at the resistance factors and make sure that you actually address those factors to ensure that those systems are implemented in the business. Now, understand something too, is that I always advise my clients that when you're making a change, you have to babysit that change for an entire year. You have to make sure that you're auditing that change so that it actually takes root. Because believe it or not, it takes about a year for people to adopt that change and make it normal. A lot of times, companies make the mistake of putting change in place and not following up long enough. to make sure that it's entrenched and it is a part of the culture of the company and how they do things every day. As a result of that, the changes that they implement never take hold. So that's a clue for you if you're in that state. I hope, AB Green, that this has helped you, and I hope that it's helped others as well. And keep the questions coming, of course. If you like this kind of content, follow me. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow.